Yeah, I'm up here one more time. What the hell? And, yeah, so anyhow, you see the name I've given to the live stream with Follow the Genders. That's right, Follow the Genders. Goes right along with the Follow Society, it sure does. See the family unit, the core of NWO, the core of what holds our society together is men and women. The core of a strong society is men and women. But we don't have that, do we? No. What we have is a divided society. We have a whole bunch of fraudulent fakes and phonies. I mean, we live in a world of liars and deceivers. And the craziest thing of all about living in this world of liars and deceivers is all these liars and deceivers and everybody around you wants to say they don't want to be lied to. And then when you tell them the truth, they don't want the truth, which equals they do want to be lied to. Then they say, no, I don't, but yet they're lying themselves. And y'all know this is what's going on is complete insanity. But it is the division of the genders that is destroying our society at its root cause, the root center, the root. Okay? The fall of society is inevitable. We're not going to stop it because we've lost care. We don't care about other people, we care about ourselves. We don't care how we treat other people because it's all a game, a sport, competition, and arena. So therefore, we don't care how we treat other people. But by golly, don't you treat me the way I'm treating you. That is the shit that goes through people's heads. And when it comes to the tough thing, the toughest part of all of this is nobody wants to take the responsibility of changing their own thought frame, their own behavior. And on a collective level, an individual basis level, men and women alike across the board have to change their belief system and their behaviors and recognize right and wrong and care about what's right and care about other people as much as you care about yourself. But nobody wants to do that because, by God, that means self-discipline. That means self-work. So the only thing I can tell you is this. What you're witnessing is the destruction of your society and the fall of your society, but it's not just going to be America. No, no, no. This is a dynamo effect. This is going to be a whole lot more than just America. This problem is global. It's not an accident that you got TFLers living over in Russia, in China, that's right, in United Kingdom, in Australia. Yeah. No, that's not an accident. Matter of fact, even Ukraine. I know that for a fact. Literally, almost every continent on the face of the globe, in one way or another, has the same issues going on. And that's not no accident. And the core of any society that was ever successfully made it was a society where men and women treated each other like human beings, where people respected one another, where people cared for one another, and looked out for one another, even if they didn't know them. That is the strength of a society that'll make it. Well, I understand what you're saying. This is to Wolf Martin there. And what you just said is a product of social engineering and people going along with programming and not using their damn brains. See, look at the reality is this. We have flipped all the rules upside down on their head. We have over-sexualized society to a point where men and women alike were chasing sex, but women didn't have to chase sex because it came to them. So women got sex anytime they wanted, anytime they wanted, anytime they wanted. And then it became old hat. Then they become wore out on it. Women were hit on at every turn. Even if they were happily with somebody, there was some other guy thinking he was a better man than another man, hitting on his wife behind his back or his woman behind his back, and wouldn't take no for an answer and kept trying and trying. And then right as she finally gets rid of that pest, another one comes along and another one comes along. That's why you have to be willing to put yourself in the shoes of somebody else. To even to beginly get a remote understanding of what's taking place, you have to put yourself in the shoes of somebody else and think what it would like to be that person. So let's take a trip down the rabbit hole, guys. Let's put yourselves in the shoes of a woman. In a society where millions of men can't even get a woman. But all these men, everywhere you turn, they're all trying to get a woman. Now, you're a woman. And you're in this world. Wherever you go, you're going to get hit on all the time. Now, even though you got all of your choice handed to you on a silver platter, which we know they do, and women make bad choices all the time. Oh, yeah, we all know that, right? But she's made her choice. And all these other men won't accept that she's made her choice. Because it's a game, it's a sport, it's a competition, and it's arena. And we're a better man if we can take us away from that guy. That makes me a better man. You know how many times I've seen that mentality from men? That if I could take that woman away from the guy she's with, I'm a better man than that man. No, you're a parasite. You're scum. You're not a better man. You're a piece of shit. Excuse my language. So you gotta really back up and put yourself in the shoes of a woman. When you put yourself in the shoes of the woman, you realize that anytime she wanted to get sex, see, women are just as sexual as men. Women love sex and want sex every bit as much as men. And the reason you don't see that is because they get it anytime they want it. They don't even have to try. There's no struggle, no nothing. So by the time they get out of their teens and out of their 20s and into their 30s, a lot of women start getting tired. They've had as much sex as any woman could ever want. They got kids, they've been laid thousands of times, and it becomes old hat. Where for a guy, it's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. Unless he's in the upper 20%, he's not getting sex all the time. He don't get it anytime he wants it. And he has to work his fucking tail off competing against man after man after man after man. Deliberately done. All of this is social engineering and it's been deliberately done. To destroy. And that's exactly what it's done. So you got so much more than the feminist movement to blame for this. The feminist movement was only one tool. There's been so many tools pulled out of the toolbox by the powers to be at the top to divide and conquer, to destroy the genders, to destroy the core. What held a society together and made them strong was when men and women alike cared about other people straight across the board and didn't care about their own selfishness. What held that society together and made it strong is when men and women looked at each other as human beings. And when other men respected another man's wife and didn't hit on her behind her back. When we actually cared about one another. And we looked out for one another. And when we didn't use all of our stereotypes that we use in today's society. These are all very valuable keys to a strong society. When you break these things down, you weaken society in a whole. Divide and conquer. There is no outcome for many, many, many countries right now. This has been allowed to go on for too long. And people don't want to change their mindsets. Look at the reality. If I jumped over to the truthers community, which was started by the CIA, I'm going to find a ton of truthers with high eagle, running on their eagle. Okay? Talking about Masons, talking about the Rothschilds, talking about that country we're not allowed to talk about called Israel, talking about Muslims, talking about Jews, talking about whites, talking about blacks, talking about the wars, talking about pedophilia, talking about this, talking about that, talking about this, talking about that. But they won't be talking about the division of the genders. They won't be talking about the destruction of the family unit. No, not at all. Because, see, that's all too personal. Because they're afraid if they talk about that, they would have to cover it up and they would have to smash men. They would have to bash men and bash men and bash men so that they wouldn't run all the women off. Yeah. And so therefore they will help the elite with attacking the core of the strength of a society. Breaking up that core, tearing it down, weakening the society in a whole. And then can't figure out why they're getting nowhere, huh? It's the equivalent of attacking the motor in your car and wondering why you're walking down the highway with 100 miles to the next rest stop or town. And you can't figure out why you're walking down the highway. All you did was take a big 50-pound sledge and beat the fuck out of your motor, right? When you was mad, no big deal, right? It should just keep taking you down the road, right? Then you can't wonder why you're walking. See, the real truth is simple and it's in everybody's face. On an individual level, we have to start caring about one another and not our damn selfish selves. We have to put our belief systems to the side. If you want what's right in this world, it can only manifest through people actually really wanting what's right in this world. And that starts with self-discipline. That starts with self-work. That starts with checking yourself. And never doing on to somebody else what you wouldn't want done on to yourself. It starts with backing up and putting yourself in somebody else's shoes long enough to think about, if they said this to me or done this to me, how will I feel about it? And when you know already, oh, I'd be pissed if they'd said that to me. Oh, I'd be pissed if they'd done that to me. Then you know you don't do it to somebody else. This is how easy that is. But see, we've married our monetary system, our money, and we married our ego. And we all strive to play the game and be above somebody else. Although you don't want nobody above you. Then we have the fear factor of you're scared of authority. So because another human being puts on a suit or takes on a man-created label, calls himself a congressman or a senator or a deputy or a police officer or a sheriff or a marshal, well, that's authority. They're over me. You become scared. Then you become complicit. And that person became scared of somebody else above him or her. That's right. Who fed them their orders. So when you hear Mark Pastor talk about the order followers, you couldn't get any more spot on. We have our false belief systems too. I'm not taking away from anything from people who want to have spirituality or believe in a creator. No way am I ever going to take that away from you. But I'm going to tell you, you need to stop following society's religions, because that is division. That is for control. That is enslavement. You're being lied to. As you're believing in lies and following the lies. Leaving the people who have done this to continue to wield their knowledge over the top of you as a weapon. Because we are literally all slaves. And I don't care what you tell me, and I don't care what country you live in. You're a slave. And you're a happy slave because you don't know you're a slave. And some of you are miserable, unhappy slaves because you don't know you're a slave. But right now, we are witnessing the fall of society, and it's going to be a domino effect that's going to go from country to country to country to country. You'll witness the fall of TFL, the fall of MGTOW, the fall of WGTOW, women going their own way. You'll get to witness the fall of the genders. To the very entity who have done this to us, and you all become complicit with your enemy, and you won't give two hoots about sex no more. It'll be the farthest thing from your mind, because everything else on your mind is going to be controlled by a chip. And before they get that chip in you to control your thoughts, you'll be in too much fear of where you're getting your next meal from, where you can sleep without somebody beating the shit out of you, cutting you up, and taking what you got away from you. You won't have time to worry about putting your dick in a hole. Excuse my language. You're going to be more focused on survival than anything else. That's where you're headed. Men and women alike. And most people can't see it coming, because they're so sound asleep at what's really going on in this world. And because they won't open their eyes and they will not pay attention, or it scares them so bad to talk about this that they're going to turn their back, they're going to run, they're going to ignore it because somehow ignoring it made me feel better. Yep, and ignoring it, you became complicit and allowed it to progress. So this is why it's happening to you. Because it's happening to you because you turned your head and looked the other way. See, if I warned you that 4 men with guns was coming through your back window, now I won't even use men. I'll say 4 women with masks on and guns in their hands are coming through your back window with intentions of robbing, killing, and stealing and raping. You would all say I was nuts because I added that last word, rape, right? And you wouldn't even look. If I said they were going to be here in 10 minutes, the majority of you wouldn't even look. Because all I had to do was add that last word. As you wouldn't look, you'd know I was nuts. And besides, it's women. Women would never do that. If I had a house full of vaginas and simps, they'd laugh me off. And 15 minutes later, they'd all be dead. And how did they die? Of stupidity. They turned their head and looked the other way. Well, this is what our society is doing. We are turning our head and looking the other way. Or we have convinced ourselves that this is all normal behavior. And we somehow think that we're analyzing what's going on between the men and women, and that we're some intelligent super being that's going to magically prove everybody in the manosphere wrong, and that it's the men's fault, and the men need to get their out of their ass, and that the women are somehow goddesses. Because you won't pay attention to stuff I've been telling you, and been telling you, and been telling you. You know, and the sad thing is when you get to where you think you can trust a woman, and she's willing to speak out about the dating scene, my experiences is every last time she has another agenda behind the back of her mind for the reason she's doing it, and it has nothing to do with about bringing the genders back together again. It's either she has an agenda to try to separate you from talking about the problem, or thinking she can manipulate the men and destroy you and shut you up. But it's never about what's right. You know, it's never about what's right. And I understand what you're saying. Fortunately, women cannot work together. Well, unfortunately, men and women alike can't work together. Not when it comes to the manosphere, can we? Because they got us right where they want us. We're all bent over with the lube, men and women alike, as you're witnessing the fall of the genders. And unfortunately, you got to remember, with the fall of the genders is the fall of society and a whole. Yep, you're right. Wolf Martin's right. There's zero chance of bringing the genders back together. So what you're witnessing is the fall of society. How many of you realize what you're watching is the fall of an entire society? That's going to have a dynamo effect. And it's just going to be cling, 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 nation after nation after nation after nation. And then the people who created it will just step right on in, won't they? And you won't have to worry about fighting over getting female no more, men. You know, you won't have to worry about your mentality of women love women, men love women, men hate men, and women hate men. You won't have to worry about that no more. It'll all be over with. It'll all be gone. As you'll be controlled slaves who'll be chipped, and numbers of you will be killed off even. History will replay itself, and there will be blood on the streets. And there will be lots of idiots. Idiots killing idiots. That's really what you're going to see. You're not going to see any real man or real woman. You're not going to see some intelligent person who actually cared. No. You're going to see the zombie apocalypse. You're going to see idiot after idiot after idiot after idiot after idiot after idiot killing for survival because they didn't have enough brains to listen when they were being told. And it won't even be a gender issue at that point. It sure won't. It won't be a gender issue at all. All of you women on your pedestal who think you're going to have all these white knights to protect you, you're wrong. And you're going to find out that the hard way. You're going to be in the same shoes as the rest of us. And it's your ultimate selfishness is going to come back on you, and it's going to slap you right across your face. It sure is. That's what's going to happen. You suckers, you selfish idiots, are going to find out what selfishness really is. As you're being slapped across your selfish, non-caring dumbass. See, the fall of a nation starts with the fall of the genders. The destruction of the family unit, the division of the genders. The destruction of care. These are all core signs that you've lost. These are all core signs that you're headed for. Do you want to call it annihilation? Do you want to call it doomsday? Do you want to call it the day that you couldn't stop what's coming down? And the world will never be what it once was ever again. It'll be controlled by a handful of people who've got their shoulders all put together, their protection all put together, who will walk around wielding themselves as gods and calling themselves gods. And the survivors will all be their serfs, their slaves, who will be living lower than a peasant, begging on your fucking knees for a chance to have anything. And I mean anything. Sad. See, this world don't have to be this way. It never did. But when you live in a world of complete dummies, might as well say the zombie apocalypse, complete idiots, that think everything's a game, a sport, an arena, a challenge, and your egos are flying high, and you're busy one-upping each other and one-upping each other, and you don't care who you hurt, you don't care who you step on and walk on. What did you expect the outcome to be? Honestly, what the hell did you expect the outcome to be? What, you thought this was normal? What, you thought this was just normal, everyday behavior? Something you would want done to you, you could do to another human being? Is normal behavior, huh? You know, and I see it all the time. I posted a video the other day on my channel of that with a clown on it. And I talked about my wife's mother and her aunt. Because that behavior is exactly some of the behavior I'm talking about. Now, do you think she's going to have a pot to piss in when this shit goes down? Hell no. And why will this shit go down? Because of that mentality. Because that mentality's everywhere. No care. All about your own selfish want. And think you're something special that has a right to control another human being. Pretty pathetic. And so a touch up on that. See, today I got up and that same person was up on Facebook. I hardly ever frequent Facebook. But lo and behold, she didn't come at me on Facebook, logged in to her juvenile child's Facebook account, floating around Facebook as she was that child when this was the mother. This is the witch I showed you. The 50-year-old pretending she's a child, logged into her daughter's account that's underage, coming at me. I guess she thought she could set me up so that she could run to law enforcement and lie to them. That's right. And say that I said these things to her daughter so that the cops would come here and lock me up so that I wouldn't move. So that she could stop her daughter from moving. This is how low this gal's going. This gal is going so low that the low of the low, because we've allowed this behavior. We turn our back when women lie, manipulate, kill, steal. They do whatever they want. We condone it, don't we, Naginas? See, the mother's tried every manipulation tactic, control tactic, guilt trip she can pull out her anal. She's been throwing at her daughter about us moving. And then she turns around and starts attacking me. Now, none of that's worked. See, on the open wall, she used her daughter's name and says, she's happy I'm moving, okay? She don't gotta look at my ugly face no more. She don't see my face anyhow. I'm never there. I don't go nowhere near her. She don't see my face anyhow. But see what she's doing is she's using her daughter. She's logged into her juvenile daughter's account. And then she went on Facebook's Messenger, which is private. See, that's not on the open wall. And she PMs me a private message. And then PMs me another private message. This is not my wife's sister PMing me. This is my wife's mother under her daughter's account trying to set me up so she can run to the sheriff's department and say, look what this guy that's this old said to my daughter who's underage. Do you follow? It's like a couple years ago when I posted a video after she attacked me over and over and over and over. I finally said something back to her. But I never threatened violence, you know me. But I said something back about her attacks. She ran right to the authorities, to the sheriff's department, and tried to get a restraining order against me for defending myself. I was the villain because I defended myself with words. I told truth. She was wounded by truth. So she had to run to the sheriff's department. And so now today, when she's getting desperate that I'm moving and if her daughter who's married to me goes with me, she's not controlling her daughter. She can't let her daughter leave state. She didn't even want her daughter to leave her house. Her daughter was never allowed to move from her house until her mom was old and dead in the ground. And she's unable to stop it. So she's going to all extremes. Logging into her juvenile daughter's account and PMing me on Facebook and leaving posts on the wall as she tries to set me up. Pathetic. But this is where we go. This is our world. See, so, I look at it for what it really is. It is the fall of our society. See, she's not awake. She's asleep. She's on her power trip. She's a control freak. She's a narcissist, self-entitled piece of shit. That's what she is. Who wants to control her kid's life, and her kid just happens to be with me. Not allowed. No, not allowed. Because I stole her away from her family, right? That's right. I snuck in her house and I picked her daughter up, folded her up nice and neatly without them looking, and stuck her in my pocket and walked by them. And they didn't realize her daughter was in my pocket because I stole her, I'm sorry, I'm being sarcastic, but, it's just a reality check, okay? I have to go reality check now and again to myself to what I'm witnessing and what is happening and going, wow, really? We have sunk this low? Of course we have. So, but the reality is if we ever want to change this, which I don't ever see it happening, I don't. You can't even bring the manosphere together. How are we going to change this when men won't even stand with men? How are you going to change a thing? You're not. You're witnessing the fall of society that's going to be a dynamo effect that's going to be cling, 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 cling. And you're going to watch the United States. You're going to watch Canada. That's right. You're going to watch United Kingdom. You're going to watch Australia. You're going to watch Sweden. That's right. You're going to watch China, Russia. Except for China will be the new superpower, yeah. Ukraine. Do I need to go on? I could go all the way around the globe, man. You're going to watch society after society after society fall. And the winner will be standing there. The new patsy pawn for the powers to be will be China. That's right. And your Middle East will be gone, controlled by the same entity. And the United States and Canada, forget that. That little country we're not allowed to talk about wiped us off the face of the earth. We don't even exist no more. And genders? Oh, well, who's worried about that? And amongst of all the destruction and all the bloodshed that's going to come down the line from the collapse, you're not going to have to worry about can't get a woman in your life. You're not going to have to worry about how women are treating men or how men are treating women. Not at all. That'll be the farthest thing from your mind. You're not going to have to worry about getting your dick in a hole. Sorry, guys. Appropriating. That's right. You ain't got to worry about that no more now. Because that will be the furthest thoughts from your mind. Because it's going to be about survival. And these women won't be being protected no more. All these white knights and simps, where are they going to be? They got their tail between their legs, shivering like the scared little cowards they are, hiding and running. They don't give a flying F about you women no more. Because push came to shove. And you women won't be protected no more, no. No, you won't. Your protection's gone. This is where you're headed. And I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm not the one causing this. I've been trying to help men and women alike for years now. I've been telling you and showing you the truth, and you disregard me. And the ones that don't disregard me, they think I got low numbers on my channel. And they don't know them low numbers are deliberate. They have no idea that that's deliberate. It's to keep me suppressed down. They don't want, the powers to be don't want people like me grabbing any kind of major attention. I already done it once, 12 years ago. Yeah, by accident. Believe me, it was. It was by accident. Didn't know it was going to happen. Well, they can't let that accident happen again. And since that time, I had probably 4 or 5 more videos that went viral that brought me some attention. And it pissed them off each time. They don't want that happening again. So you notice my numbers always stay so low. You know, If I get 4 or 5 new subs, they'll take 3 or 4 of them away from me. Then I won't get no subs for a long time, and I'll get 3 or 4 more. And then they'll subtract 3 or 4 more. Then I'll get 3 or 4 more, and I'll subtract 3 or 4 more again. Yep. It'll take me forever to grow. My last channel took me 6 years to get to 2,500 subs. The time before that took me about the same amount of time, and as soon as I got in around 2,000 subs, 2,500 subs, I didn't have to have no strikes on my channel or do anything wrong. They just removed my channel, all of my videos, and made me start all over. Both times. 2 times in a row I've had that happen to me now. Now here I'm on this channel, locked out of 2 others, and the same pattern. Censorship, suppressing me, stopping people from hearing me. Because they know I'm telling you the truth. They don't want you having truth. They want you believing lies, propaganda. They don't want you seeing the real truth. But, you know, in the end, you're going to see the real truth anyhow. And you're going to realize the people pushing me down are nothing but parasites and scum. Order following parasites and scum in Silicon Valley. That's right. In Silicon Valley, California, we have parasites, scumbags, and low-life order followers that don't got a brain cell in their head, or they've all been MK Ultra. Brainwashed. What do you do? That's how I feel about that. What do you do? Not much we can do when it comes to reality. But do understand this. The core is of NWO, of a strong society, is men and women, and strong family units, and care. I'm giving you the list of what's in the core. So if I drew a circle in the middle of a big circle, the earth, and then after I drew a big circle, the earth, I drew a smaller circle in the middle, and then I drew what was inside the middle, the smaller circle, it'd be men, women, and care. That's what would be in there. Real compassion. Real care. One's ability to put themselves in somebody else's shoes. One's ability to care about somebody they don't even know. That's right. And why would you see men, women, and care? Why is that there? Because that is the tools that makes up for a strong, successful society. And without them 3 components, men and women, and care. Because what does care do for men and women? It brings men and women together. It makes for a family. It makes for society. Men are men and women are women. All of us caring about one another. It leads to critical thinking skills because you have care. It leads to strength. And it's the strength, the bond that holds this planet together when it comes to humans and societies. And we don't have that. What we have is care has been replaced with game, with the opposite, non-care. It's been replaced with selfishness, greed. Yeah. Love is part of care, and love has been replaced with sex. Religion's been used as a tool to control. Not that we don't have a creator. See, that when you ask what these things are, this is where the problem lies. This is why it's so vital for people to really start understanding what's going on. And for people being willing to stand up and put their life on the line, to care about others. But as long as we continue to do what we're doing, which is what's going to happen, then you can plan on bloodshed. You can plan on lots of death and blood. You can plan on watching your society fall. And you can plan on watching many societies behind yours come tumbling down. And for all of you egomaniacs, it is my last commenter's words that came from me because your ego told you so. Because your ego controlled you. You didn't control you. It's like an alcoholic or drug addict, allowing the drug to control them and not controlling themselves. This is what an egomaniac is. There's somebody who allows their ego to control them and do not even have control over their own self and destroys people around them and don't give a flying fuck because they don't have care. And then, of course, they don't want to look at the cause. They don't want to look at the core because they would see that they were a hammer and chisel beating on the core because their ego told them so. Then they wonder why they lost. They can't figure out why they lost. That's above their IQ. Huh? I don't understand what went wrong here. I knew I was right because I was so intelligent. Yep, you are so intelligent, you outsmarted your own self. By golly, that's a very smart person you are, outsmarting your own self. Sure glad I'm not smart as you. Where I got so smart, outsmarted my own self with my dumbness and my ignorance that my ego allowed me to have. Because that's what your ego does for you. And I know I piss people off when I talk about their ego. They hate it when I talk about ego. What am I going to do? What am I to say? Reality is reality, man. So many people just need, You can't even bitch slap them awake. That's something else. My wife's mother sent her a text the other day, told her that I need bitch slapped. Huh. I thought, oh, okay, that's right. And then she brought up the video that I made a year and a half ago. She don't even know about the video I did the other day. Or she would have to worry about that. She don't even know about that yet because she's not too bright. She's not too smart. She believes she is, but she's not. Just wait till she gets a wind of that. When she gets a wind of that video exists, then she'll be talking about that one. But right now, she's still prosecuting me for a video a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yep. What can I say? I'm a bad boy. I stood up for myself to a female. Yep. That I never see. Because I'm so abusive, you know. Last time I heard, I remember this old saying they used to tell me when I was a kid. And I think you all heard it that's in this chat. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I told truth in a video, and she was wounded by the words that came out my mouth that were true. Even her own family member, a couple of them came up and said, everything I said in that video was 100% true. They know her like the back of their hand. It's their own family. And I says, yeah, I know. And they agreed with me. But she's never forgiven me for that. No. How dare me? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself. See, she's a woman. She's allowed to say anything she wants. Do anything she wants. To me, I'm only just a guy. I'm not even a human. I told my wife's cousin this morning about our society teaching children that from an early age that boys don't hit girls and what the repercussion and the outcome has been. And I told her that no gender should have ever been brought up. And I says to her, this is a 36-year-old woman. And I says to her, so, how would you feel? I says, how would you feel if, for the last 50, 60 years, we taught all the children that girls never hit boys. Girls never hit boys. There's absolutely no excuse for a girl putting her hands on a boy. If we flip that around. And then when you girls stood up for yourself to a boy, all the other girls were going to demonize you and attack you for abusing that boy. How would you feel about that? I says, because that's been what's been going on for men for decades now. She went quiet for a while and she came back and said, well, I know you're right. And it's not right, it's wrong. So see, she acknowledged it. But the problem is do we ever see any females get together? Let's look at the reality. We have a men's rights movement being run by women who claim to be fighting for men's rights. Did we ever see them do anything for men? Did they ever even address this topic I just brought up? Nope. Nope, not at all. Because they're not here to do anything for men. They don't want equal. They don't want what's right. They want more power for themselves. That's what they want. Is more power for themselves. That's really what that's about. We can expect a lot more of people like Heather's mother. We can expect a lot more of that. If she could have gotten by with it this morning, she would have tried to set me up to get me arrested for nothing. Just so that she could stop me from moving. So that she could control her daughter. And maybe get her daughter away from me. And suck her back into her house. That's all that was about. But she wasn't quite that clever. I wasn't quite that stupid. I know her like a book. I know her good enough to know that she absolutely cannot be trusted. 100% across the board. She is a parasite. Nothing you can do with people like her. Other than watch your back. Because the first chance she gets, she'll fucking destroy you and laugh if she does it. Uncanny, unreal. It's the world we live in. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I get that to say what I got to say today. Probably wondering what I'm shoving in my mouth. It's right here. Shouldn't be in it, but I love them. I love them. It's dark chocolate. Dark chocolate covered almonds. It was a little bit pricey. Came from a place called the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. I've always been a fanatic for this type of stuff. And it's fair to me, this dark chocolate covered almonds is like an addiction. I don't have it very often at all. But when I do have it, I just got to keep eating on it. Where am I going? I'm going on with my day. I think I've had enough to say for this live stream. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you while I'm here. So for all of you in here, you understand this. This coming Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So check your time zones so you know what zone I'm in. 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, my time. I will be going live with Jay from the United Kingdom and Joe from Australia. Yep, that's planned for this Saturday. And there might even be a third guest that I don't know of yet. So if you're around Saturday night, depending on where you live, you'll have to do your own work on that one because I don't know where any of you people live. Okay? So just remember, Central Standard Time is my time. Where I'm at, my time zone. Okay? I'll be here live on Saturday night. And I'm having them people with me. So there's going to be, I don't know, the last time I done this, turned in almost a 3-hour live stream. Hey, for all I know, it may turn into another 2-hour, 3-hour live stream, man. I'll be getting together with more than one person, and we'll be talking away. So you might want to be around for that one. That's this coming Saturday night. And with that, guys, I'm on out of here, and you all have a good one.